I'd like to call us to order right now, and I want to invite HEITKAMP to come and lead us in our invocation, pledge, and national anthem. Let's all stand together as we have the invocation.
Thank you, President Nolan. Welcome everyone. Do we have any concerns today? Or
Yes, I spoke to one of our newest members yesterday on the phone, Robin Lynn. She's continuing to go through breast cancer treatment.
Thank you. And I have a concern. You may not remember this, but my sister passed away in September of last year. But my brother-in-law, her husband, has been diagnosed with cancer, stage 4 lung cancer, and it's a result of colon cancer he had earlier. It metastasized in his lungs. So I would appreciate your prayers for Joe Summers, who just got the full news this week.
Any update on Alan Brent?
I'm sorry?
Any update on Alan Brent?
Alan should be here today. He said he was coming, but have not heard an update from him yet. If anyone else has, please say so. Yes?
He's been taking his therapy and said his back is no longer hurting, but it did metastasize. Prostate cancer did metastasize. We know that. He said he's gotten some relief from the therapy he's taking, so from the guys. Let's hope that continues.
My mother passed away last month, and we're having her memorial service on Sunday afternoon. So I appreciate all the prayers you got.
all right, let's keep Eric's mom and Joe and Robin and Nolan's brother-in-law Joe in our prayers today, and Alan. And he's done so much for our club. So please bow your heads with me. Heavenly Father, we come to you this day with grateful hearts, thankful for the gift of life and love of family and friends. We ask for your blessings and guidance. Help us to be kind and compassionate to those around us and to be a positive influence in the world. We pray for all those in need, especially for those who are sick, lonely, or struggling. May they feel your love and know that they are not alone. We trust in your never-ending grace and love and ask for your continued protection and provision for our loved ones and for all of humanity. In these things we pray. Amen. Please join me for the pledge of the national anthem.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you. You may be seated. I'd like to, first of all, call on Happy Bucks is what we're going to be involved in doing right now. And I think Richard Sanford is going to help by taking the happy bucket around. And if you have something that you'd like to let everybody know that you're happy about, then raise your hand and he'll come right to you. Alan's here. We're happy that Alan is here. Way to go, Alan. It's thrilled to see you.
I'm happy today because I was able to bring my wife and another guest with me, but also, we introduce the guest speaker often when we talk about the books they've written and the titles they have, but we don't talk about the true history. And I want you to know that in 1983-84, the mock trial championship for the state of Texas was won by the Brent team.
All right.
He was also the senior class president. He was also the most likely to succeed. I was looking at the annual today. And it says he wanted to be U.S. Senator. And I thought, there's an opening in Texas. Oh, now you're doing better. Okay. And some of the best things about him, he was a great babysitter for our kids who were growing up. And even a better thing for you guys, he's a Paul Harris Fellow.
All right. Anyone else? There we go.
Hey, good morning. Dr. I'm really happy to be a Rotarian. I've had a really great experience this last month being in Rotary. I traveled to Iowa and got to visit 2 Rotary clubs up there, and I brought back for the Des Moines, Iowa clubs. And then on the way back, I met a fellow Rotarian on the plane. There you are. And then just last week, I've been meeting so many Rotarians from different clubs, NTFB, and then getting invited to clubs, and it really is just instant friends wherever we go. So really happy to be a Rotary member this month.
Thank you. Thank you. Anyone else?
I'm happy to be back this week. 2 weeks ago, we're in the process of selling our house, and we had our first kind of estate sale, and I had to do it on Friday, and I couldn't be here. And I want to thank Teresa DeFalco for filling in for me at the last minute. I'm happy to be back, but also really happy and thankful for her to step up and volunteer to fill in for me a couple of weeks ago.
Anyone else? Oh, there we go, Sergio.
Well, I'm really happy to say that I was accepted in the 1st Brigade of Texas State Guard, so I'm happy to the honor to service now, starting tomorrow to my oath.
All right.
Eric's got it.
Last year, I had the opportunity to talk to Sam Miller. We lost Sam earlier this year, and I must say, after all the years I've been in the club, Sam is not someone I knew very well. And I walked out one day after lunch, and I said, "Hey, Sam, how's it going?" And just in conversation, I said, "Are you retired?" And he talked for an hour and 15 minutes, and I learned more about Sam in that hour, and it was a great conversation. We walked down together, and then subsequent meetings after that, we went up and talked to him, and so I'm glad I did that and just wanted to share that story.
Thank you, Eric. I want to say something about that. Most of the time when we come, we're rushing in to be here on time before the meal starts, and we're rushing out when we leave, and we don't take the time to spend an hour and 15 minutes with someone talking about who they are and hearing about them, and I want to applaud Eric for having done that to begin with, but I want to encourage the rest of us to take our time when we leave and say hello to people and get to know each other a little bit better, because that's one of the reasons that we're here is the relationships that we build through this club, and there's some great people that are here for sure. Introduction of guests. Now, Richard, you're going to help us again. Thank you. Okay, SIOBHAN.
Hi, so I'd like to introduce Daphne Steidel. She's here visiting for the very first time. And so everybody come over and say hello and give her a big, big welcome.
Welcome.
Yes, I would like to introduce actually I brought 2 guests. my wife, over here is my wife, and she's a Paul Harris Fellow too, and I'm glad that she was able to come today. I also brought a longtime close friend, Charlene, and she worked for Balfour for 25 years, and she's now retired, and one of her favorite, greatest productions was she's Brent's mother.
Any other guests? All right, thank you, Richard, appreciate that very much. Mark NEACE, come and give us the marketplace advertising for today.
And it's Nolan Duck. So President Nolan Duck is our marketplace advertiser today. So we want to thank him. And he's going to introduce himself through a video. And this is an example of those of you who are marketplace advertisers or who want to be. This is an example of an additional upgrade to your membership if you would like to have a video like this made for you to introduce you to the club.
I'm Nolan Duck, founder and CEO of DDG Advisors, a lower middle market mergers and acquisitions firm. I've been a Rotarian for 34 years and a proud member of the Rotary Club of Park Cities for 19 of those years. The things that I cherish most about Rotary are the relationships I've built and the four-way test. This moral compass leads me to act with integrity, fairness, and to benefit all stakeholders in my business relationships. Most business owners who want to sell are not prepared or well represented. As a result, on average, only 17% of businesses that go to market actually sell. That's where DDG Advisors comes in. We've seen firsthand what happens when a business isn't prepared and properly represented. Owners don't get the full value for their company, or worse, the sale never happens. We successfully close 85% of the companies we take to market, giving our clients peace of mind and a smooth transition to the next chapter of their life. Let's talk about how we can help you achieve your goals as you sell your company. Thank you so much.
So I've learned, Nolan and I've been working on some content for his business, and I've learned a lot about his business, and I just have to say that if you're looking for an expert in the field that he operates in the M&A field, this is the person that you need to talk to. The processes and the systems that they have in place is some of the things that I've been learning about, and it's really impressive. So let me help me thank Nolan, President Nolan, for being our marketplace advertiser today.
Thank you, Mark. Appreciate that. And I'd like to call on Cub Amos at this time. Come on up here, and you're going to introduce Bryan DUNKLIN, our new member, and we're going to together hand him his homework.
Well, it's always a pleasure to bring anybody into Rotary, and specifically Park City. Bryan and his dad both are previous Rotarians, and so it's just a real privilege and an honor for me to introduce Bryan DUNKLIN. He is an attorney, among other things, and also a great friend. And Bryan, welcome, and we know you're going to be a great member.
I'd like to present this booklet to you, and you're going to be looking through that and checking the boxes as quickly as possible so we can trade this red badge into a permanent badge that you can wear proudly. We're so glad that you're a member here, and welcome. Let's give him another hand of applause. Thank you.
I couldn't get lunch.
Thank you, Lee. We need to be heard every once in a while. Yeah, okay. Susan Glenn, would you come and share with us about the North Texas Food Bank Volunteer Packing Day?
Thank you, President Nolan. First, I want to thank everyone in this club for your amazing, overwhelming support and passion for our hunger initiative. Every year, for those that are new to our club, every year we have a volunteer packing day at North Texas Food Bank. in October and in April and May. So we're having one this Saturday, next Saturday, CINCO de MAYO weekend. We only have 5 more to fill, so that's incredible, especially with an Easter weekend and not being able to recruit that Friday, right? So for those of you that have already registered, I'll be sending an email out next week, and if you can join us for lunch afterwards for CINCO de MAYO at LUNCH, come join us, and I'll make the reservation. But again, thank you, and I want to just say that look at this sweet little face here. This is a little boy, North Texas Food Bank, 40 million meals for children last year. That's incredible to me. It hurts my heart, and it also makes my heart smile, because it hurts my heart that 40 million kids are food insecure. And North Texas is one of the richest, right, communities in Texas and probably the nation. But it makes my heart happy to know that those needs are being met through people like us who really support this hunger initiative. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Next Tuesday night, that's the 29th of April, we have the opportunity to come together and plan for the programs that are showing up pretty soon. I think that Richard Stanford is one of those guys that's in charge of that, along with Jeff Brady. You guys are co-chair of that event, and you will get to. Would you like to talk about that?
6:30 Moody Y, second floor in the activities room up there. It's the usual pizza and cold drinks thing, and everybody in the club is a member of the program committee. Actually, that's our strength. Everybody brings different connections and different interests, and so. But do let me know. I'm happy to send a couple of emails, and I've gotten a fair amount. But if you're coming, I want to have enough pizza. So just email me and say I'm coming. So hope to see you Tuesday night at 6:30, second floor, Moody Y in Preston.
Thank you so much, Richard. And you know, how many of you think that we have pretty good programs around here? All right. You know who's responsible for that? You. All of us. Everybody is a member of that committee or that group, that team. And so I would encourage you to come. It's a great time of fellowship. You might have cold pizza and warm Cokes, but anyway, no, I'm kidding. You do have warm pizza and cold drinks. So it's worth going to see the process, if nothing else, and to hear the opportunity, the different people that are presenting, which is crazy. A lot of the programs we've had have been just astounding that we've gotten these personalities to come. It's great. So please make an effort to be there next Tuesday at 6:30. It is raffle time, and those of you who have purchased raffle tickets, you will pull those out real quick, because we're in a moment going to have a raffle. But I've been given instructions. I need to remind everybody that the proceeds from this card drawing, 50% goes to the winner and 50% goes to the foundation. Now, last time I said things wrong, and a little birdie has sent me a text telling me how I need to say it correctly. So I think I've said it correctly. Haven't I, Birdie, over there? Anyway, that's what's going on with this. So, Van, are you the one that has you have all, or really Tom has all the, Patty, coming up here, Patty. Okay, what's the announcement? This number is unbelievably high, Tom is saying. He is. Well, $2,023 are in the pot today, so somebody could very well win $1,000 in change. Am I stealing your thunder there, Tom? I didn't mean to. Okay, way to go, Jim. So, we're going to ask our speaker to draw a ticket out of this little forward here.
I don't draw your attention, please do not hold that.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, here is the winner for today. The last four of this winning ticket is 2204. 2204. That's a lot. 2204. You are the winner. I have this card. All right. Now, here you go. Just pick a card. Whatever you want to do. No. I am so sorry, Kathy, but there is a winner out there somewhere. It's just not there. So we have proved up the number and the fact that we have an ace of spades in the deck, so that's all good now. I think we've passed the test. The chair of the day is the esteemed Van Oliver. So Van, come up and introduce our guest speaker for today.
I'm actually the valet between all that's gone before and our great speaker. I have only been a member 3 or 4 years, and I don't think we've ever had a speaker whose mother has attended. And they were so glad. And if you'd like to say anything or cheer or tell us when we need to clap the loudest, let us know and we will do that. You know, as we get older, I think some of the things that we don't think about is what's going, behind us or what's going forward. And those are the children and grandchildren. And I think that we tend to think that those might be, a lot of us, our most precious asset. And today, we're so glad to have someone talk about the medical care, the magical things that are happening in Dallas, where for children's care going forward. And it is really, it is magical because Dallas Medical Center, Children's Medical Center is ranked consistently in the top 10 of the United States for all this care. And we have a couple of connections. I have a personal connection. I have a granddaughter who has special needs, and she came from Shanghai when she was a month old, and they had 3 surgeries at Children's Medical that saved her, allowed her to breathe, to sleep, and to swallow. And fortunately, she's doing well, as can be expected, with that sort of thing. And I'm interested in any gene mutation type things. She had a mutation. The other thing that we have a connection with, well, 2 other things actually, with our speaker. One is that we have Ron McDonald House every month, and we serve children and parents who the children have long-term illnesses or surgeries that require a long-term recovery. And it's amazing to see them in person, and usually we, do 50 to 75 families, a month. And they come from as far away as California, New York, Georgia, Illinois, and then because of the greatness of our medical foundation and our medical hospital, they even come, and I've met people from Indonesia, from Peru, from Brazil, from Poland, from Malaysia. It is truly amazing to see their stories and the great care they get at this medical school. And the medical hospital that we have for children. So, you've heard a lot of great things about our speaker today, and a couple other things that, it's hard to imagine, going back that far as we did, but it's awfully good. His educational background is, he went to Baylor, got an advanced degree in Nottingham University in England, and came back and got a law degree from UT, and then he decided, unlike me, to do something worthwhile as a lawyer, and to help other people and other children by joining and being the head of Communities Foundation of Texas, CFT, where our club has its funds, invested and handled over there. And interestingly, he was very innovative, very creative, thanks to his mother. And he created an annual Business Giving Day, which at the time had like 400, as I have read, charities that were being given to and or responsible for that day. And he created that day. It's now the largest community giving single day event in the country. And there's 3,000 charities that take place each day or each year for that. And that might be also one of the reasons why the Dallas area is ranked as the second most philanthropic city in the country. And I think that we owe him a great measure of gratitude, for that, in addition to taking the medical hospital and foundation to newer and higher levels in the life. And if any of you have any grandchildren or children, if you'd like to give a wing to the hospital, he would be glad to talk to you afterwards, about that. So it's my pleasure, and hopefully we'll give him a good round of applause, for Brent Christopher to speak. And he has one of those names that you can go either way, Christopher Brent or Brent Christopher. He's just ambidextrous in many ways.
President Nolan and Van, thank you very much. It's a treat to be here with all of you today. I've got such a long history and deep respect for Rotary in general. When I went to England to earn that master's degree at the University of Nottingham, I did that courtesy of you. I was there on a Rotary Foundation scholarship back in the late 1980s, and you were the ones who made that possible for me and helped prepare me for law school and all the things that have followed ever since. I've got a lot of relationships around the room today. Of course, my mother, who I did not know was going to be coming today until this week. We moved down the street from Richard and Roselle Gilman over 40 years ago, and have been wonderful friends ever since. But lots of relationships around the room, and it is a real treat to be here with you today. I'm going to give you sort of overview of what happens to take care of kids and support families in this region. That's what happens every day at Children's Health. So I'll give you the overall landscape, and then I'm going to take you behind the curtain a little bit and give you a special preview of what's about to happen, because there are some big things in the works that will be super significant, and in fact make Dallas the place you want to be to come get care for your children, for grandchildren. And in terms of pediatric care and the research that is conducted around that, Dallas is going to be ground zero, and I want you to see how and why that is going to happen during the days ahead. But first, we'll start with Children's Health and a high-level overview of our mission to make life better for children. That's a real simple, straightforward way of saying it. Not too fancy, but there are three main ways we do that. First of all, it is providing world-class care at the bedside of a sick or injured child just when they need it. And that's probably what most of you think about when you think about Children's Health. Children's Health is an academic pediatric healthcare system. We have a partnership with UT Southwestern Medical School, one of the institutions within the University of Texas system, but we are not part of the University of Texas system. Children's Health is an independent, private, 501c3, not-for-profit organization. Just like the Boy Scouts or the Thoreau Museum or the Salvation Army, or you pick your favorite charitable organization. Children's Health has two hospitals. The flagship hospital, which is Children's Medical Center Dallas, you may be familiar with in the medical district here, and also Children's Medical Center Plano, which is up near the corner, basically of Preston and Legacy. So we'll talk a little bit more about those two campuses and all the other specialty services and support for kids that we offer around the region. But the overarching umbrella is Children's Health. Children's, again, does what we do first and foremost to take care of sick kids when they need it. But secondly, we also help conduct a lot of groundbreaking research that is changing the way that we diagnose and treat diseases and illnesses in kids. And then third, we also help train the next generations of pediatric specialists. Not just pediatricians, but also those other specialists and subspecialists who are going to be the ones that provide that highest level of care in this region, not necessarily just now, but for decades and decades to come. So amazing care, groundbreaking research, and the education and training for future generations of those pediatric specialists. That's what happens every day at Children's Health. The history goes back a long time. We were founded in 1913 by a nurse named May Smith, who come here from New Jersey. And when she got to Dallas, kids were having a tough time in the summers here. Think about it, this was before penicillin, there wasn't refrigeration, and kids oftentimes got even just foodborne illnesses and were dying from dysentery, especially in the summer months when it was so hot and there wasn't any refrigeration and there weren't any antibiotics. And Nurse May Smith borrowed 4 tents from the American Red Cross, and she set them up at the corner of Maple and Oak Lawn, where Old Parkland is today, kind of across the street from Scottish Rite. And that was ground zero for Children's Health. It was in those 4 borrowed tents from the Red Cross that our organization got started. And it continued to grow and evolve over a period of many, many years, ultimately becoming the big hospital that we know today, that was originally located there on Maple across from Scottish Rite. And then in 1967, moved to the current facility in the medical district, where basically at the corner of Harry Hines and what used to be called Motor Street, now called Medical District Drive. That's where the big flagship campus is located. You can see here that even from the very beginning, Children's was making waves in helping to set the bar for how we best take care of kids, not only here, but all around the country. In 1941, that's real tiny on this, I'm going to tell you what it said. In 1941, the first heart surgery on a baby in the entire United States was conducted right here in Dallas at Children's Health. And that long legacy has continued to grow and build from that ever since. The current campus opened in 1967. We added the Plano Hospital in 2008. And since then, we've continued to grow and expand. The latest expansion just opened up last year, in fact, when we tripled the number of patient beds available at Children's Medical Center Plano. Y'all know the growth in that part of the Metroplex is off the charts. So many people are moving into Dallas in general, but especially up in that Frisco, Prosper, Salina, Anna, Melissa, McKinney kind of area. And that's the area that is served by our hospital that is located up there. So we added a bunch more beds up there, and now we're getting ready to look at how to do the same down in Dallas, and that's what I'll come back and give you a preview of in a moment. System highlights. A lot of numbers on there, and again, they're hard to read, so let me just call out a few of these to give you some sense of scale about the numbers of kids that we are talking about. Children's Dallas operates 400 hospital beds. Children's Plano has 212. So altogether, that's a little over 600 beds today that are specifically earmarked for the needs of kids in this region. We served over 330,000 unique individual kids last year in 2024. Unduplicated. They came to Children's over 1 million times. You see there are 1,037,000 something visits. But that's over 330,000 kids in total. Last year, we performed 33 heart transplants, building on that earlier statistic, 33 heart transplants on kids, which, believe it or not, is the highest number of heart transplants on kids anywhere in the United States. That's actually true for 2 years running, 2023 and 2024. More pediatric heart transplants right here in Dallas at Children's Health than anywhere else in the country. We delivered $43 million worth of charity care last year. We have over 10,000 members of our staff who are on the payroll at Children's Health, and we've got another 2,000 doctors who work at Children's that are technically on the payroll at UT Southwestern and work with us through that partnership that we have with that organization. So you can tell that the scale of what is happening at Children's Health is very, very large. In terms of the things that are significant about Children's and why you would want to potentially have someone that you care about treated at Children's Health, you should know, I'll call out just a couple of things again on a busy slide. The hospital on the left is Children's Medical Center Dallas, here in our medical district. The hospital shown on the right is Children's Medical Center Plano. Children's Dallas is a level 1 pediatric trauma center. It's the first one in the state. What does that mean? That means that 24/7, doesn't matter the time of day, doesn't matter the day of the week, we have every doctor and clinical leader on call that is necessary to take care of any kind of serious traumatic incident for a child within 15 minutes. Doesn't get any higher than that. Below that, you see we have a level 4 NICU. So level 1 is the highest level of trauma rating. Level 4 sounds like it would be a little bit lower, but actually this is the inverse. This is for our intensive care unit. For a neonatal intensive care unit, they flipped the numbers. I don't know why. It would have been a lot simpler if they just kept them the same. But level 4 is actually the highest level of acute care when babies are sick. And the neonatal intensive care unit at Children's Medical Center Dallas provides the highest level of care that is available for the very, very sickest babies anywhere in this region, and it is a level 4 NICU. You'll see in Plano, we also have great trauma care available there, and we take care of babies there as well. Slightly lower acuity level, so the sickest kids are always going to come down to Children's Medical Center Dallas. It has the most sophisticated level of equipment and services that are available 24/7. But we're also ramping up everything that's available up at Children's Medical Center Plano to be able to take care of more kids and sicker kids that are up there. Lots of awards and achievements. I'll just call out 3 things that are on this slide. On the top left, you see that we are ranked, have been for 12 years in a row, in all the pediatric specialties. There aren't many hospitals in this country that can say that, and we're consistently ranked as one of the very best pediatric hospitals anywhere in the United States. To the right, now we are one of only 10% of all U.S. hospitals. Now I'm not talking about just kids' hospitals. I mean all hospitals. We are one of only 10% of those that have been ranked 3 times as a magnet facility, meaning the highest level of recognition for nursing support and the quality of what the work environment is like for the nurses who practice there at Children's Health. And then down on the bottom left, you see there's a list of multiple recognitions there about being ranked consistently as one of the best places to work in the region over and over, and that has just happened for us again. One of the things that we're proudest of, though, is that national ranking by U.S. News and World Report as one of the very best kids hospitals anywhere in the country, and that's also true for UT Southwestern and the ranking that they have for Clements University Hospital, the adult hospital in the medical district that is operated by UT Southwestern. And that partnership between the 2 of us is really central to what happens in taking care of kids and supporting families. As I said earlier, 2,000 of the people who work at Children's are adult physicians who are on the faculty at UT Southwestern, teach classes at UT Southwestern, and also practice medicine at Children's Health. And that partnership and collaboration between Children's Health and UT Southwestern is really central to that mission, and knowing that we are delivering world-class care and research and training for the next generation of pediatric specialists through the combination of the partnership between these 2 institutions. Oftentimes, we refer to that as being incredible together, and I thought it might be helpful to make that point with a video that we have been running lately to help illustrate that tagline.
Just,
Every now and then I get a little bit tired of listening to the sound of my tears. Every now and then I get a little bit terrified, and then I see the look in your eyes. Every now and then I fall apart, and I need you.
And we're not just partnered with each other between Children's Health and UT Southwestern, but also with the community. It really is all of us coming together and linking arms around how to deliver that kind of world-class care and research and training that makes all the difference in the world for the kids and families who live here in Dallas, but also for kids and families everywhere, around this state, around this country, and around the world. So what's going on with the population of kids in Dallas? It is blowing up right now. There are 2.5 million kids who live in Dallas today. And the projection is that over just the next 25 years, between now and the year 2050, the population of kids is going to double from 2.5 million to 5 million. Let me tell you a shocking statistic. If you look at the whole United States, 1 out of every 8 children in the U.S. lives in Texas. 1 of every 8 children in the United States lives in Texas. And out of all those kids in Texas, 1 out of 6 of them lives right here in Dallas. So we've got a huge population of kids. It is not getting smaller, and we are maxed out. So I showed you earlier, we've got 400 beds that we operate at Children's Medical Center Dallas, another 212 beds up at Children's Medical Center Plano, and folks, we are full. We are full. Right now, there's still a little bit of space some days up at Children's Plano. We just opened those new rooms. At Children's Dallas, and especially if it's wintertime, we have got people waiting in the halls, waiting in the emergency department, stacked up, trying to get in to be able to get a bed because we just don't have the capacity to be able to take care of them. The challenge for us, too, is that there is nothing that we can do to make Children's Medical Center Dallas any bigger. If you think about that location and where we are in the flight path to Love Field. And so we can't go up any higher. We already have an exemption from the FAA to be as tall as we are. So we're stuck, can't go up. And if you think about what it looks like in that area of Dallas, we can't go out. There's no more land, there's no more space to build to extend that campus beyond. So we've been faced with a tough decision to figure out how do we best meet the needs of all the families that live here in Dallas today and are continuing to come to Dallas and are going to be coming to Dallas for years and years and years ahead because the solution is not here now. That has led us to this. This is an early rendering of what a new campus might look like that would replace Children's Medical Center Dallas as we know it today. We know we have to continue delivering world-class care at the bedside of a child who is sick or injured. We know we need to continue pushing the boundaries of research because we are discovering all sorts of stuff that makes us know how best to diagnose and treat diseases in kids that we did not understand before. And we know there aren't near enough pediatric specialists out there, and it is important to continue attracting and retaining those pediatric specialists going forward. So all those parts of the mission are critical, but we had to figure out how to do that. So in collaboration with UT Southwestern, our partner, we are now getting ready and have just broken ground on a replacement facility for the current Children's Medical Center Dallas. What you see there and what you have known for the last 60 years, ever since it opened in 1967, is eventually going to shift down the street, down Harry Hines, toward Brook Hollow Country Club. If you think about it, if you were on Harry Hines driving toward Brook Hollow, as you pass Inwood, you have Clements University Hospital on the left. On the right, there used to be a Chase Bank building. There used to be a building that was the original Braniff headquarters, if some of you remember where the Braniff Airways headquarters was. The original Frito-Lay headquarters was also located on that property. Mickey Mantle had a bowling alley there on that land back in the late 1950s and early 60s. That's the land that we are talking about now, where we're going to be building the new Children's in partnership between Children's Health and UT Southwestern. The current hospital is 2.1 million square feet. The new hospital will be 4.7 million square feet. We have 400 beds today. We're going to start out with 552 beds at the new hospital with room for a lot more and easy expansion. We have a 47-bed neonatal intensive care unit. Remember I said that level 4, highest level intensive care unit for the very sickest babies. Going forward, that'll be a 96-bed NICU. And we have 78 ER bays today, and we will have 90 in the future going forward. All that is critical for us to be able to deliver on this mission of taking care of kids. And let me just reiterate, we are here for all kids in this region, whether you live in Pleasant Grove or Plano or anywhere in between. Children's Health is your pediatric healthcare system, and it is here for you and your family. We treat all kids regardless of their ability to pay. And we do that across the region as the safety net hospital for kids who are under the age of 14. A lot of people don't realize that Parkland is the county hospital and the safety net hospital in general for adults. The Children's took on that responsibility for kids who are under the age of 14 for the last over 35 years or so. That means if a family were in a tragic car accident on Simmons and everyone needed to go to the emergency room, they would take the parents to the Parkland emergency room and they would bring the child to Children's. That is the role that we play for this community. We also know that children are not just miniature adults. That was the whole premise behind what that nurse from New Jersey did back in the summer of 1913. She realized these babies were dying from dysentery because no one had figured out how to meet the unique needs of a baby, and we're trying to treat them just as little, smaller versions of adults, and that's not how it works. So we have a very specialized environment that looks and feels different from what you would find in an adult hospital. In adult hospitals, we often kind of fend for ourselves. In a children's hospital, you need a lot of different things, both from an educational standpoint and for entertainment and distraction and comfort and all the wraparound services that are available for those kids and those families. We are spending a lot of time right now as we plan for this new hospital talking directly with patient families to find out what they love about the children's that we have all come to count on for these last 60 years at the current location, and what they hope for if we have a blank piece of paper and can start over from scratch, which is what we're doing with this new hospital. And it's going to create the best experience for patients and families that we can possibly deliver. It will also strengthen this relationship between Children's and UT Southwestern for conducting groundbreaking research, and for knowing that we are continuing to recruit and train the very brightest minds from around the country who will come to study and train here, do their internships and their fellowships here, and then hopefully stay and continue to practice here in the Dallas area as those next generations of pediatric specialists and subspecialists. So, about this project. It has just gotten underway. We began planning a few years ago. We finally had the groundbreaking last fall in October. And if you drive by that corner of Mockingbird and Harry Hines, just basically down the street from left field, today you will see already there are 2 giant construction cranes that have been put up on that land. And those are the first 2 of 9 construction cranes that will be necessary to build this new campus. It is basically a big hole in at the moment that is getting deeper and deeper and deeper in order to prepare for what needs to happen over the next 6 years ahead. 6 years. It will take 6 years from now to finish the construction on this new facility because it is so big, so ginormous. It's an incredible undertaking in terms of the scale and scope, but it's worth it for the impact that it's going to have in the lives of people. Lives of people in this room and all your friends and neighbors all around the community. And we're aiming for a grand opening in 2031. So here's what it should look like. You're looking at sort of an aerial view, top down, in the medical district. On the sort of top side of that slide, you would see Mockingbird. And up to the top right would be Love Field. On the bottom left, that sort of zigzag-looking building, that's Clements University Hospital, if you're familiar with that. Harry Hines runs right across the street. The land that we are talking about for the new Dallas Pediatric Campus for Children's Health and UT Southwestern is that spot right in the middle, basically in front of what is now the Simmons Cancer Center at UT Southwestern. It will have 3 big patient towers, for the hospital rooms for patients. That's what you see across the front that is sort of colored. Each one of those patient towers is the length of a football field. So each tower is 100 yards long. Absolutely massive in scale. Behind that is the emergency department, closest to Harry Hines. All of the internal operating suites and imaging suites and pharmacy and all the back of the house stuff that it takes to run a hospital. On the back side of those patient towers to the right is an outpatient clinic building where patients will be able to come back once they've been discharged from the hospital, but if they need to continue having follow-up visits for our heart center or our cancer center or any of those other kinds of programs like that, that's the building where they will come. And on the far right of the new campus, you see there a parking garage. Think something like Terminal A parking at DFW. This is a giant parking garage that will be able to hold 6,000 cars, and that is only for staff and faculty. There will be 3 layers of underground parking beneath the hospital, which is where the patients and families will be able to park, which is a big improvement from what we have today if you spend any time at Shelby's Hall. So 3 levels of underground parking for patients and families so they can come right up into the building, an enormous parking garage across the street for all the rest of us, and incredible facilities. This is a better sort of straight-on view of the property, and it also gives you a view of a very unique bridge there. You see that sort of glass structure that looks like it comes back across Harry Hines? That is a sky bridge that will connect Clements University Hospital with that NICU inside of the new children's. That means that UT Southwestern is going to be able to expand their capacity for high-risk labor and delivery that can take place at Clements University Hospital. When a mom is facing a high-risk delivery, they identify that there may be an issue with a baby at birth, they'll be able to deliver the baby at Clements, and they've got great care for the mom right there, and that sky bridge will take the medical team and that baby straight across Harry Hines and back directly into Children's, where we have the highest level care for the very sickest infants in that level 4 NICU. No ambulance transportation involved, no helicopter flight involved. Right now, a lot of times, babies are born at hospitals, all across the region, and when something happens that wasn't anticipated, then transportation is involved to figure out how to get them down to Children's, and oftentimes a mom may be stuck at that hospital for many days, if not weeks, depending on whatever has happened. And that means then the family and friends have to get divided between 2 different hospitals, introduces a lot more risk for the baby. It's just a less desirable situation all the way around. This is a real game changer for Dallas. To be able to have the best and biggest kids hospital directly across the street from Clements Hospital, and to have them joined by that new sky bridge, that is amazing. That is completely groundbreaking. This is a different view of that sky bridge. I'm looking back toward downtown Dallas from the other side, and you can see the emergency department there closest to the road. These are fun facts that you can't see on here, but you've got them on your table, so if you're interested, grab one of these brochures. I'll tell you just a couple of these that I think are interesting. First, 4.7 million square feet of construction. I think this actually says 4.5 on it, but it's 4.7. AT&T Stadium is 3 million square feet. That means this new children's campus is going to be 1.5 AT&T stadiums in size. There will not be a bigger construction project anywhere in the United States. This is far and away the biggest healthcare construction project. They're replacing the flagship campus at Mayo, at the Mayo Clinic right now. That is a $5 billion project, slightly smaller than this. This project is also a $5 billion project, and it is significantly bigger than that. That's why there will be 9 of those giant construction cranes out there on the landscape trying to build this hospital. Second thing that I don't think is on that page, but that helps put it in perspective for me, if you took the Empire State Building from New York City and you set it down right in the middle of Harry Hines next to this new hospital, and you laid the Empire State Building on its side, this new children's is going to be longer than the Empire State Building is tall.
That's how big this project is going to be. Really, really overwhelming. So the total price tag on it is $5.4 billion. I'd like to just pass the hat today. I think we can take care of that. Let's do another one of those raffles right now. Everything counts. Let me tell you, it is a long process to figure out how to raise this money. We don't have to raise $5 billion, thankfully, from the community. Children's Health and UT Southwestern are coming together through this partnership, and between whatever operating revenue we can generate, savings that we have in the foundation, how we manage our investments, and what we can borrow in the debt market, both UT Southwestern and Children's have debt capacity. That will come up with about $4 billion of the money, but we are needing to raise $1 billion in community support. Have we ever done that before? No, we have not. UT Southwestern has never done that. Children's Health has never done it. Really, only SMU has done that in this community. But it is time that some others got a chance to step up to that same level with SMU, and we are excited that this is the opportunity to do that in Dallas. It will take all of us coming together at a variety of levels to figure out how to raise that kind of community support to bring this new hospital to life. To tie it all together, I always think it's easiest to remember what's going on with a project like this through a real story. And so now it is my privilege today to get to share with you very briefly the story of one of our neighbors right here in Dallas, a young girl named Grace.
Everything before this happened was very normal. We were busy with sports. Grace was on a competitive cheer team. On November 15th of 2021, we got a call from school to come right away.
I walked into school and Grace was lying on the floor in a dark room and kind of regressed to almost like a toddler. She said, "Hey, Grace, your dad." She goes, I have no idea who that is. We got admitted to Children's because of how her symptoms were acting. They didn't know if it was a psychology issue or if it was a nervous system issue. And then seizures would start. Someone said encephalitis, but they weren't 100% sure.
When I first came in and when I was first sick and we didn't know what was wrong with me, they tested things on me and they took really good care of me.
It was so hard not having an exact diagnosis because there wasn't a clear path of treatment. We met with so many doctors and so many nurses, and they just had never seen this before.
The first time I met Grace and her family, it was clear to see that they were struggling. The partnership between our research capabilities at UT Southwestern and our clinical capabilities at Children's has really lessened the barriers to accurate diagnoses for children like Grace. One of the most important things is experience. You really need clinics that do this on a day-to-day basis.
We were introduced to Dr. Greenberg, and he said, "I've seen this, and we're going to get her feeling better."
After our first meeting with him, my husband and I looked at each other and truly cried and hugged each other, and we knew it was a turning point.
I thought Dr. Greenberg was really cool. I felt like I was in good hands.
Autoimmune encephalitis is a condition where brain cells are malfunctioning because the immune system is mistakenly attacking them.
He laid out what our treatment plan would be. He made it very clear that this would be a 12 to 24-month plan. We did IVIG, we did plasmapheresis, and then we did an injection that was the one that really kind of set her on the right path.
We were there for 40 nights, and there for Christmas and New Year's. The nurses and the staff, they really became like family.
In February of this year, 2023, her EEG finally normalized.
We are completely on the other side of it. Just to think back and think where we were and where we are now is a miracle. All of the things in life, in an instant, nothing is important besides your child's health. I can't imagine where we would be right now if we had not gone to UT Southwestern and Children's Health.
Physically and culturally bringing these institutions together opens up huge opportunities for us to learn from each other and contribute to each other.
We live in a world-class city that deserves world-class healthcare like UT Southwestern and Children's Health. And I'm so pleased that this new campus is being built because it's what this city and this state deserves.
I fully expect for this initiative to be transformative, not just for the care we provide here in Dallas or North Texas or the region, but also to set up a model that other facilities should be looking towards throughout the nation. I expect it to elevate the level of care and the sophistication of research for the entire community.
We're so proud of Grace and how resilient she is, and I feel so blessed to live in a city that has such fabulous healthcare. I'm glad we're on the other side of it and able to appreciate it even more. But until you're living it, you don't know how important it really is.
You may have questions for Brent, and so Doug has one right away, so let me give this microphone to you. We don't have much time, but we're going to take what we need.
Your mother should be very proud of you today. Great presentation, thank you so much. My question is to and that is Cook's children, what kind of relationship do you have with them? And then the last question is Henry Beck, the general contractor on your project.
I'll start on the back one first and then answer the first one. Henry Beck is not the general contractor on this. We in fact needed two general contractors on this project because it is so big. Vaughn Construction and McCarthy Construction have gone together and created a new joint venture. And between the two of them, they are managing the construction on the new project, although we certainly have a long and deep relationship with Henry C. Beck and still friendship with Peter. So relationships all over the community, but McCarthy and Vaughn are the two GCs. For the relationship with Cook Children's over in Fort Worth, y'all are probably familiar with Cook Children's. They typically operate on the Tarrant County side of the world, and we typically operate on the Dallas County side of the world. Cook Children's is a really great pediatric hospital system too. They don't have the same kind of academic relationship that we have with UT Southwestern. So Cook Children's is not a teaching hospital kind of location, and they don't do as much research. They do some research, but not quite as much as we're able to do through our partnership with UT Southwestern. So that's the distinction. We're both not-for-profit healthcare systems, and typically just kind of divide up North Texas between the Tarrant County side and the Dallas side.
Once the new facility is fully built and operational, what will happen with the current facility?
That is a really important question, and I could make something up, but the honest answer is we have no idea. So we own that land, and we own those buildings. Children's Health does today, but we got that land from the University of Texas system, and there's a little reversionary clause in the deed that says if Children's Medical Center Dallas is no longer a teaching location for the Department of Pediatrics at UT Southwestern, the regents could choose to exercise that reversionary interest and take back the land and all the improvements on it. So that is one outcome that could happen. We may still continue using that property, though, together for, who knows what, maybe a rehabilitation hospital or some outpatient services, or no telling. All that's going to get figured out over the next 6 years.
One last question here.
First of all, that bridge that gave me chills between the two facilities, the fact that the property that's just unbelievable. Advance ER, we're members of the Children's Healthcare Network, so we're proud participants of what you're trying to do. What can we do to help? I know $1 billion is a lot, but is there anything that we as Rotarians can do to participate and help?
Of course, so well, we need to raise financial support across the whole community, and of course that is always welcome. Whether you can give $100 or $100,000 or $100 million, there's a place for you. Yes, and that is available. If you just go to give.childrens.com, you'll see more information about that. But we also want you to be knowledgeable ambassadors for us in the community. Rotarians have big networks. You have a lot of friendships and relationships. And we want you to know about this project. We want you to know the details that I've been able to share with you today. And we'd love for you to be an extension of us. You are our arms and ears in additional circles of friends and people in Dallas who need to know about what is happening. And we would love for you to tell the story of what happens at Children's Health every day and why this new project is so important for the future of Dallas. Kids are about 20% of the total population, but they are 100% of the future.
So thank you for the opportunity to be here and visit with you today. Really appreciate it.
Well, Brent, thank you. I think they're digging a big hole over there. And how many of you have shovels? You might want to join in with that project. A book is going to be placed in your name and your honor at the where is it? Jack Elementary School. Yeah, and for your sharing with us today. And thank you for being here with us, Brent. This has been great. Appreciate it very, very much. As we conclude, I want to call on Bryan to come and lead us in the four-way test. Let's all stand and be dismissed. But at the same time, Jeff Brady next week is our chair of the day, and he'll be making a presentation. It's called Presentation 1-on-1. He's going to be teaching us how to make a presentation. So that is the program for next week. Come and lead us in the four-way test.
Please join me in reciting the four-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, first is it the truth. Second, is it fair to all concerned. Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships. Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned.
Thank you so much for being here today.
Hey, good to see you, Eric.